like I said, you know, the Shield was the most active when it was just the three of them. I mean, the Shield's the most active and more dominant, and it's just three of them, I should say. But yet, Ring of Honor doesn't want to rely on the original formula and just go with Sting, Jacobs, and Carino, and maybe Rhino. Look, as I said in the first part, I understand Ring of Honor is trying to get a lot of exposure. I get that. I really do. They want to get noticed. I understand that. But here's several ways you could do it, ladies and gentlemen. You could do it by, first of all, finally getting in contact with the pay-per-view providers and saying, you know, or finally coming together in a meeting and saying, you know what? We shouldn't really be doing pay-per-views anymore. We should be doing regular pay-per-views. Or at least get a deal in place with a major cable sports company and say, you know what? And say something like to maybe Fox Sports or whoever, ESPN if you have to, which would be maybe a good choice. But Fox Sports mostly if you wanted to. Or whoever. Fuel TV, Speed TV, doesn't matter. Maybe even a regular cable network. You know? Like say Comcast Sportsnet, whatever you want to call it. Get something in line with them and say, you know what? We have all these major cards coming up. Can we, every now and then when we have one, use your network or use your cable channel to broadcast them on? Or at least, you know what? Like I said, work it out to where you get back on pay-per-view because you work better on pay-per-view than you do on pay-per-view. Yeah, I understand reducing cost and all that, but you know what? If you go back to pay-per-view, you'll be doing better than you think. And heck, even if you got these deals, even if you made deals, like I said, with, let's say, Comcast Sportsnet, or Fox Sports, ESPN, doesn't matter, to do once a month or once every other month, a wrestling card on that channel of, let's say, Supercard Week, like that upcoming Supercard thing in April. Or recently, like the 11th anniversary. If you could do something like that, you would get a lot of people watching more often. And you'd get the exposure you need. You'd get noticed. You don't have to go to the levels of destroying what worked. You don't need to do that. You know, it's kind of like with TNA. Yeah, when the Aces and Eights thing started, and they were all under masks, you know, that worked for a while. Because you didn't know who they were, even though it was leaked online, who most of them really were. You didn't really know who they were. You don't know what they were doing, you know, why they were doing this. But as soon as you take the mask off, it's like, oh, whatever, right? You know, it's like, whatever. And, you know, again, to me, if you're going, you know, and again, it's the fact of the storyline that is what bugs me, okay? It's the fact that it's the storyline. It's not just necessarily that the group essentially is a take off the NWO in some sense, but it's the storyline. It's the same storyline. Take over, destroy, rebrand. When are wrestling companies going to learn? When are they going to learn and realize, you know what, yeah, we can put together a stable, but we should come up with something different than having them wanting to take over and destroy the company and rename it in their version, rebrand it or rename it in their name, you know, rebrand it in their own vision, all of that. No. If you're going to do a stable like Scum or even Aces and Eights, you need to have a real reason. Not just, oh, let's just have them be an NWO ripoff. No, have them get on the mic and say something like, we're together because everybody's held us down and we're not going to stop wreaking havoc until we have our opportunities. You know? Like let's say Red Titus, he's part of Ring of Honor. He's part of Scum now, right? Have Red Titus come out and say, hey, I'm part of this group, and unless you don't want us to keep destroying you, unless you want something like, you know, have them make a deal, or something like, have them make some kind of a compromise. Like I said, have Red Titus get on the mic and say, I joined Scum because of this and this and this. And if you want me to leave Scum, I have a deal for you. Give me a world heavyweight title match against Kevin Steen, and I will leave. Same with Matt Hardy. You know, you want the icon out of Scum, that's fine. But I want a world title match. That's what, I mean, come on. Basically, that's what these stables mostly are. Should just be about. The fact that everybody wants a championship match. They want to be champions. That's what Aces and Eights should be about. They shouldn't be about, oh, let's take over the company and all that. No. They should be more like, yeah, these guys want opportunities. They want to prove they're champions. Because obviously, what did the NWO, what was the NWO really about? Not just taking over the company, not just trying to rename it NWO, but what was it really about for most of its members? That's right, winning championships, being the champions, winning the gold. So why can't you just have a group come out and say, hey, we're together because you never gave us opportunities at the titles. And you know what? Have them keep wreaking havoc. Even if you give them the opportunities, have them keep wreaking havoc even after they lose and say, hey, we won't stop wreaking havoc until we're the champions, until we have the matches in our favor. Or whatever, something like that. I mean, it's a lot more interesting than trying to rip off the NWO. Oh, and trying to take over and stuff and destroy and kill. Stupid. And especially if you have the so-called head honcho of your faction, the world champion, looking like, you know what, I don't want to deal with this anymore. I proved my point. This is all I wanted to do. I mean, if this is what Kevin Steen's doing, storyline-wise, if this is what they're doing with Kevin Steen, to where he's like, you know what, all I wanted to do was prove myself as a champion. I didn't want anything else. I didn't want to be anything else than what I am. You know, if they're planning to do that, if they just want him to come out and say, hey, look, I proved myself worthy of being the champion, but I didn't want this, or whatever, it would work better, but we don't know. Look, the fact of the matter is, you can go different ways. You could just have the Scum members come out, and if I'm Ring of Honor and I'm booking this thing, I just have the Scum members come out and say, look, you did this to us. You made us become this group. And if you don't want us to destroy your company anymore, you will give us the opportunities that we earned. Like you can have Red Titus, like I just mentioned, say, hey, you want me not a part of Scum anymore? Then I want a championship match. I want a television or world championship match tonight. Or, hey, you can have Matt Hardy do the same, or Cliff Conn. I mean, all you have to do is just have them come out and say, hey, you don't want us to show anything? Give us a championship match. Make sure it's in our favor. Let us become the champions so we can prove to our former employers or potential employees, hey, look at us. We can be great players. That's basically what it is sometimes. When you have all these big name stars or semi-big name guys coming in, it's mostly, hey, look, we're main eventers. We're the champions. See, we can be champions. All you have to do is give us an opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, honestly. Okay, I know that sounds a little far-fetched. But the fact of the matter is, folks, what I'm trying to prove by doing this video is the fact the original ideas should not be expanded on unless you expand it with more originality. The NWO and WCW succeeded because it was all originality. It was an original concept to us in the US at the time. And it worked. It worked. It changed the business to change with the time. It worked. And this was at a time, ladies and gentlemen, when, yeah, we had internet, but we didn't have the dirt sheets that we could read online like we do now. The fact is, every week on Nitro or Thunder or at a pay-per-view, it was a surprise because we didn't know what was going to happen with the NWO. We didn't know what was going to happen, who was going to join, who was going to defect. We didn't know. Now, I know a lot of people will say, well, that's what Ring of Honor did on Saturday. Yeah, I understand most of that time was kind of unexpected. Some of the matches and results were unexpected. I get that. But the thing is, folks, you don't do something like this. And again, I understand there's a lot of people, ECW Hardcore 7, many people out the pro, I don't know who else. Maybe the Brad Wolves. I know a lot of people are going to defend Ring of Honor. I get that, and I understand and respect that. I understand you guys are going to defend Ring of Honor for what they did. I get that and respect it. But I'm just saying this from my personal opinion as a fan, and I know there's other people that are going to voice their opinions down the line. That are going to basically say something similar, maybe different, that Ring of Honor needs to not ruin what was originally a great idea. You cannot ruin it. I mean, SCUM was successful being just 3, if not 4. And now you want to expand it? It doesn't work, folks. It doesn't work. And to me, it would only work if you had some ROH originals in there with maybe a big name or so. Maybe one big name or so in there. It would work better with that. I mean, Jimmy Rave, Rick Titus, you have them join, that's fine. You have someone like a big name like Matt Hardy join, that's fine too. You have Rhino probably join. There's your 2 big names. Or maybe you take Rhino out and you put Matt Hardy in as the big name. There you go. You don't need to basically bring in Cliff Compton. You don't need to bring in Matt Hardy. Or Rhino, whatever. You don't need to do this. And especially, you don't need to have your leader potentially look like he's not going to want to have any part of this. But you see, to me, it's better if you just stick with the original idea. That's the way I look at it. You know, I understand Ring of Honor is doing everything they can to expand or try to get notice, to really show that they're up there among the elite of wrestling. They're up there on the same levels of WWE and TNA, and that they can do things similar. But again, as I have mentioned, you don't ruin something that was originally a great idea. If you're going to do an idea similar to what you see from other promotions, that's fine. But to me, whether you like it or not, take notice of what WWE is doing with the Shield. The Shield, just the 3 of them have pretty much beaten the entire WWE locker room. So what does that tell you? If WWE can succeed in doing what they're doing with the Shield, and that's just 3 of them, why can't Ring of Honor just stick with the 3 they have? I don't know. But I will say this. Maybe I'll be wrong about this. Maybe it'll succeed. But I'm letting you know right now, do not be surprised that even though it's got some momentum now, that very slowly starts to lose some steam. Because as it starts to lose steam, Ring of Honor is going to start to realize that nobody's going to take it seriously, because all they see is nothing more than an NWO-inspired group that's just going to slowly die off because nobody takes it seriously. So, let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. I'm sorry this video was in 2 parts. Take your time in watching it, but let me know what you guys think. Again, I know there'll be people defending this concept, and there'll be people that might agree with me on it. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll talk to you later.